All right, so let's talk about. Actually, let me talk about this. It's not on the sheet, but I put it out. I just put it out this morning. So let me discuss this because it's on the top of my mind, and it's breaking. As you all know, the wildfires. There's been wildfires that have been raging across the west coast of the United States and Canada too. So really, North America, and these wildfires are started, in California and Oregon and Washington. Numerous reasons for these wildfires to start. It's the wildfire season. Unfortunately, we have a season for wildfires in which it's so hot in this, it's so hot in the world, and this area these areas on the West Coast experience immense drought during this time of year. And all it takes is really the slightest spark to create what becomes an out of control raging wildfire that can take out tens of thousands of acres of land, decimating people's homes and towns. And, some of the things that we now know have been started by these wildfires have been, down trees, taking down power lines. That started one of the wildfires in Oregon, I believe. A wildfire in California was started after a gender reveal party gone wrong. As insane as that sounds, yes, someone had a gender reveal party and decided it would be a good idea to tell the world if their baby was a boy or a girl via some sort of explosive device showing a blue or pink coloring. And that set a fire.
A tradition as old as time.
Right, yes.
Abolish the gender binary, folks.
Right. So there's many reasons. And of course, this is all perpetuated by climate change. And 2020 is especially bad. I don't know if you guys remember this, but just a few days ago, Los Angeles County in California recorded the highest temperature ever recorded at 121 degrees. So, I mean, that's insane. So you would understand how if a small spark is lit, that can easily get out of control and turn into a wildfire that devastates people, places, animals, and land. But for the right, they don't believe in any of those things. They think that if a wildfire starts, there has to be some sort of devious plot that purposefully is trying to, I don't even know what the mindset behind that is, but they got to blame someone. And of course, they're going to blame this year Antifa, their enemy number one. So I don't know really where this sort of started, because it's hard to kind of tell, because these social media companies like Facebook and Twitter, they are, not to give them credit, but they are a bit more proactive about taking some stuff down. So a lot of the originating posts on Facebook have been removed. But if you look online on just a quick Facebook search, it's not hard to find. There's dozens and dozens and dozens of people talking about, I heard from a friend of a friend, or a cousin told me, or, I heard while listening to the police scanner, even though I actually didn't hear, someone else told me when you confront them about this. So there's no proof of it, but the conspiracy is this. Basically, Antifa started the wildfires, and they know because apparently they heard from someone that 7 Antifa members have been arrested for starting these wildfires, and they're being charged with arson. Only if you look into this isn't true. There's been no Antifa arrests. In fact, one of the local police departments in Oregon have come out and specifically said that they have arrested no one in Antifa or otherwise. They even threw Proud Boys in there, even though I haven't seen any speculation that Proud Boys were behind these fires. They also claimed that not only that, but they're not even looking into any sort of Antifa involvement in these wildfires, because honestly, you'd be insane to do so when these wildfires have been raging for some time now. I mean, years. Again, we have a wildfire season. So this thing spreads though, and I basically am able to I've been able to trace it back to two sort of main official sources. Again, these aren't the originating ones, but these are what's being passed as the two original sources. Because other than these two, you have people sharing old links about people being arrested for arson, which don't even mention Antifa. And again, they're old links. They're not even involved with these wildfires. I don't know why these people are spreading these links as proof. But the two main sources are this one local website. Let me pull up the name here. It is called the Roseburg Beacon, and it presents itself as basically just this Oregon local independent weekly news outlet. And they put out a print weekly, and that's just what they are, the Roseburg Beacon. But if you look a little bit further, you find out that the guy who runs this very small, I believe it's only him, paper, is a man by the name of David Jocks, who's a local Oregon real estate agent and also a purveyor of right-wing propaganda. This guy's Facebook page is littered with, anti-Antifa postings, anti-mask wearing postings, COVID, coronavirus skepticism, anything. The 2020 right-wing starter pack is on this guy's Facebook page. And he runs this Roseburg Beacon, and he's claiming that Antifa members were arrested for arson in Medford, Oregon, and that there's more unconfirmed arrests. And the funny thing is, his own paper, which he uses as his source, doesn't even say this, because I guess he realizes he's writing in an official print. Maybe he should be a little bit more careful. It only heavily speculates Antifa involvement. Is this another tactic of Antifa? At this time, there is no direct evidence to suggest this, even though in my own Facebook post, I'll say that Antifa members have been arrested. Okay, but moving on. The other source that seems to be the other only official source claiming this is Russia Today. They have an article out there with the headline, Antifa are thrilled to hear this. Portland police ask protesters not to start blazes amid statewide wildfire emergency. Now, if you read the headline, to me, it sounds like a heavy insinuation, especially when you're dealing with a lot of people who don't have very good reading comprehension and can't read into the lines and how certain things are worded to say certain things without actually saying them. It reads to me like an official is saying that Antifa is supporting the wildfires. And of course, this is how this conspiracy helps spread. But if you look into this, the actual article, it only says that the Portland police asked protesters, and it includes an embed to the tweet, we ask you to demonstrate peacefully and without the use of fire. That's all they said. They said to the Portland protesters, do your thing, but don't use fire tonight, please. But where does this Antifa are thrilled to hear this line come from? Well, that's because Russia Today is also quoting a very reliable source, Mr. Andy No from, the right-wing provocateur, who is basically behind every sort of cover for white supremacists on the West Coast.
Surprise.
Right. So, Russia Today basically merged what he was saying with any sort of official, wildfire / Antifa connection from an actual source. And, that's where they came up with this. So no, just because you heard something on, from a friend of a friend on Facebook, or there was one specific, I got to read this one for you guys. This one's really funny. So here's an example of those like heard it through the grapevine posts that are spreading on Facebook. So my brother is a logger, as you all know, and one of the guys he works with owns about 50 acres between Welch's and Sandy. Last night, he saw somebody trying to start a fire on his property. He went down to the property and discovered a group of Antifa throwing Molotov cocktails on his property. He had a fire truck on his property and immediately went down with his guys and tried to put out the fire. He also took his ARs, and they exchanged over 200 rounds of fire with these people. They called 911 and said they were trying to light their property on fire, and the police told them they were on their own. So this story is really every sort of, right-wing masturbatory, like made up, the police won't come to help you, Antifa throwing Molotovs, having to go down and exchange gunfire with these agitators. Like really, it's the perfect, it's an action film, really. It sounds like if the director of Taken also directed a movie about the Portland protests, really. So this is the sort of stuff that's spreading out there and people are believing it. None of it's true. Wildfires start for many reasons, all related to climate change. And usually people being stupid, like having gender reveal with explosives, and not because protesters are going into the woods and setting forest fires.
That is a funny image, though, don't you think? Some chud out there calling, hello, 911. I'm being menaced by Antifa terrorists. And the police are like, we are Antifa terrorists. Boom.
All right. You're on your own, kid.
They like pull off their face to reveal just a balaclava mask underneath. Like, we've been Antifa the whole time. No.
Right. It's you know what you know what it reminds me of, actually? That line from The Watchmen that weird libertarians always like to quote online. It's like, and the whores and the politicians will look up and shout, "Save us!" And I'll look down and whisper, "No." It's like they're on they really do love Rorschach, don't they? I mean, it's unbelievable. But yeah, that's what it reminds me of. Incredible. Just incredible. The bullshit people believe. Also, even if you were listening to the police scanners and heard someone saying like, "Oh, we got to call in about some protesters with Antifa," it just goes to show you that that's why regular, normal people shouldn't listen to police scanners, because police scanners aren't official anything. Police scanners are literally, you're hearing what's being called into the police from just any old Dick and Jane who are saying anything, and they go to then investigate it. So any asshole could call up the police and say, "Yeah, there's Antifa protesters." And then you'll hear over the police scanner, "Oh, yeah, just got this call, going to check in on possible Antifa protesters." And they'll go and find out it's an old man in a hoodie pushing a shopping cart or something. And then that's what your Antifa protesters will be. But of course, you won't find out that version of it because there was nothing there. And that's how these sort of rumors based on police scanner run wild too.